Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2015. This rant will be entitled, To Be or Not to Be Insured in Florida. So what we have is a great kerfuffle that's going on down in Florida. Rick Scott, big Republican, actually headed a medical insurance company or something like that, and the company paid $1 billion for trying to skim money from the federal government on Medicaid or Medicare or something like that a long time ago. But he's the governor. He doesn't want Medicare because, you see, what's happening, the Medicaid expansion in Florida is that the Medicaid expansion in Florida, which would cover about 800,000 people, would be paid for by the federal government 100%, I believe, for the first 3 years, and then 90% after that. And what Rick Scott is saying is that he can't hold the federal government up to he doesn't believe the federal government will hold up to their bargain. So that's why he doesn't want to have it. And of course, freedom in terms of being able to get your own health care policy. So what's going on right there now is that they're coming up on a time very, very soon when something's got to happen. Now, there's something in Florida called the low-income pool, and that is in reference to sick people who go to a hospital and need to have care, but they can't pay for it. Then that money is paid back to the hospitals from the low-income pool, which is paid for by the state of Florida, which gets its money from the federal government to pay that. Now, that was a temporary thing, and it was extended until sometime this year, I believe within the next couple months or less. And the federal government is basically saying, forget the low-income pool. We let you have that for a while, but you need to put everyone back over to ObummerCare, or the Affordable Care Act, and that'll take care of those people, and that'll not only take care of them, it'll take care of them even better. Because the example would be, if I was a poor person in Florida and I had appendicitis and it had ruptured and I went to the hospital, then they would feel me over a little bit. So, got to go to the operating table, and they'd have to take care of the whole thing right away. I obviously don't have the money to pay for it, so the hospital would charge an arm and a leg for that, and they'd get that money from the low-income pool. Whereas with the Affordable Care Act, with Obama, I might go in and actually see a doctor a couple weeks ahead of time or a week ahead of time and say, man, my stomach really hurts. The doctor would feel around, oh, well, you got appendicitis, and we got to operate. No fuss, no muss. So the government's saying, the federal government is saying, just switch it over to Obamacare and everything will be fine. But Scott doesn't want that. And the House Republicans in the legislature in Florida, they don't want that either. They don't want Obamacare, and they're fighting against, they want freedom. That's what they want. They're fighting against tyranny of Obama, and this is a great epic battle that is going on here. And the other part about it is there really some true, I would like to say, animosity about this Obamacare thing? Because in essence what this is really doing, it's helping people who can't really help themselves. And of course Republicans say you have to pick yourself up by your bootstraps, so they're going to pay, it's going to be paid for anyway by the low income pool, but they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it from Obamacare. Now, someone said, hey, just take the Obamacare and call it something else, but they can't do that right yet. So they're having a lot of discussions. They're talking about freedom. They're talking about tyranny. They're talking about Obama forcing it down. Scott is indicating that they're taking away the low-income pool, which proves that you can't trust the federal government. Now, where this is a real problem is that the Republicans want to enact some tax cuts in Florida to the tune of about $673 million. Now remember, states have to balance their budget every year, and some of them use it through a lot of gimmickry, like our good friend in New Jersey, Chris Christie. Scott's doing the same thing. But that if you take that amount of a cut and you also add to it the fact that Obamacare will provide for those 800,000 approximately $2.3 billion. Then you take that $673 million also. they can't balance the budget. So they've got to make some decisions. Is it freedom for the tax relief, or is it, are you going to be under the tyranny of the socialist, the fascist, communist, Marxist, colonialist from Kenya, or are you going to take the money and shut your mouth and call it another name? And that seems to be what's going on right now. They're having a real kerfuffle. They also have some rules over there that if 3 or more people in the legislature meet, the reporters must be let in, and they're having closed session meetings because of freedom. But this is really what is happening. This could be a bellwether, because if Florida takes it, then a lot of other states might take it, because there's only Texas is the only other big one that hasn't taken it, and it'd make it a lot easier for a lot smaller states to take it. And we'll see what actually happens. Are they just going to say and just move on, or are they going to hold their noses and call it Obamacare by another name? Florida Care, Panther Care, Jaguar Care, Marlin Care, whatever. We'll see what happens.